I'm Mike.
And I'm Adam.
And this is Stuff and Waffle. Two friends talking about stuff, and often as not, waffling with frequent reference to Bond cars.
Right, here we are again.
We do appear to be.
Yes, we are. It's bloody warm.
It is, it is a bit hot. I've got the window open, so I apologise for any sounds that may come drifting in. We know what it's like.
Yeah, I'm afraid the dogs will be flying outside in a moment, so I've got everything shut in the short term. I might crack a window.
Boiling in there.
Yes, it's a little warm. I'm already hot and bothered because I've been... any keen Instagram followers will notice a new desk setup. I've been fanning around with wires today, which is really not the day to be crawling around under a desk sweating your tits off.
No, you picked the wrong day for that, really.
Yeah, that's it. Because some new gubbins arrived. So when I finished work, I just thought I better get on that because we're recording this evening. So,
and you wanted the gubbins in play.
Yeah, some were quite pivotal actually. So,
okay, fair dues.
Yeah, they would have definitely held up proceedings.
Okay.
On the topic of recording things and podcasts, that seems quite relevant. It's to the keen listener, they might know that it's Le Mans time shortly.
It's been discussed, hasn't it?
It has. I mean, and to be fair, I have to bite my tongue a lot not to discuss it more because I'm getting a bit excited now. However, let's not get distracted by the fact that today there are lots of car transporters arrived and deposited lots of exhibits in the museum from the Le Mans winning cars over the decades.
Oh, you're going to be in there leaving your own deposit, aren't you?
Oh, man. Again, I'm trying to shoehorn it in everywhere. What I actually was trying to say is that what we're possibly going to do, I don't know how it's going to turn out, but we're recording now, and it's a good chance that this episode and possibly the following one will be a bit shorter than normal. I mean, not by any stretch. You're not going to come away from it feeling empty-handed by any stretch, but they might be a little shorter.
We'll see how we get on.
Yeah,
we'll see how we get on. Once we get kicking stuff around, anything could happen.
Yeah, this is very, very true. But we'll put it out there just in case.
Yeah, just in case there's a little short one, it'll be because he's away.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, as that was a bit of Le Mans, I'm not going to talk about it now. I promise.
Okay.
However,
I'll bet it comes up.
However, I'm going to bring up an endurance race.
Okay.
Because weekend just gone was the Nurburgring 24-hour.
Oh, okay.
Very good.
Yeah.
And for the first time in the race's history, Ferrari won it.
Okay, that's interesting.
Yeah, it's obviously, with it being Nurburgring, the German marques tend to do very well.
Tend to dominate, yeah.
However, this is a bit different one. It's the brand new Ferrari 296, the GT3 racing variant, obviously. First off, I'm not a big fan of the way the road car looks. However, the racing car is a much better prospect. It looks the part, whereas the road one looks a bit meh.
Yeah, we've discussed the road one, I think, haven't we?
I can't remember, but if we haven't, that's my take on it. The reason,
yeah, that's fair. That's fair. I'm just bringing up some pickies.
Yeah, so you've got to be careful with your internet usage.
Oh, that's true. Actually, I can't be bringing up photographs and talk to you at the same time.
No, you are.
No,
you are operating on not a lot.
It's bad. My bit of string is particularly frayed this evening.
Oh dear. However, the reason I bring it up because I know you love your motorsport. But the reason I thought that you would actually be genuinely interested in this one is that it's a poignant win because it was a car that was run by the Frickadelli team, a German team started by Sabine and her partner Klaus.
Ah, okay.
So it's a very poignant one because
Yeah.
they did it.
Yeah, that is special then.
Yeah. So that's quite the thing, and it was a very popular win, and it was reasonably closely fought as well. So 24 hours, and after the last set of pit stops, we still weren't sure. So,
Okay.
yeah, really good. And like I said, the reason I bring it up is because it was Sabine's team.
I like that. That's good. Yeah,
See,
that's good.
I thought that would make you go from, oh, he's talking about bloody racing, to going, oh, that's actually quite good.
Yeah, that is quite good. Yeah. Oh, we all miss Sabine, don't we?
We do.
Very sad. Yes.
Enormously, yes.
Yes.
But I get the feeling wherever she might be, she would be smiling at that one.
Yeah, that's good. That's nice. That's nice.
Even though it wasn't in a Porsche.
Yeah, that would have been her preference, I would think, if we're honest. But it's interesting because you don't sort of associate Ferrari with endurance. I think it's
steady.
Come
on. Perhaps not in a road car stance. No. Fragile.
Yes, that's the word. Yes, indeed.
However, in endurance racing, they are not too shabby. I don't know how they've managed that.
No, obviously put all the decent tech into the racing cars, not into the road cars.
Yeah, and I know I said I wouldn't mention Le Mans, but it'll be interesting to see how their new hypercar goes, the 499.
Yes, having won at Nurburgring, yeah.
Yeah, having run the GT3 car one, it'd be nice to see what the hypercar does, see if it can go the distance.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
But well, have no fear. I'll report back on that. I'll be like a roving reporter, don't you worry.
You are going to be roving, aren't you? But sadly, not in a Rover. Yes.
No, that's not going to be the vehicle of choice. The vehicle of choice has nothing to do with me. I'm merely a passenger this time. So
yes, not your vehicle, is it? Not your responsibility. Although you are. I better not say what you are actually, because that's going to be a surprise, isn't it?
Oh yes, I know what you're referring to. Yes,
I better not say that.
No, don't ruin it.
No, I nearly did.
Oh, silly boy! I would have had to bleep it, wouldn't I? And
everyone would have had to edit it out.
What's that for? Yeah.
No, sorry, just drop me out for a second. Everyone will think it's my internet, so fine.
Yeah, don't spoil that. But there we go. I talked about racing, and I've finished with it now. So there you go.
Yeah, you put a nice twist on that, though. I'll let you have that. Yeah, I'll let you have that.
I could always spin it to get you vaguely interested. Right. A little bit of housekeeping from last week. Where we mentioned the new DB from Aston was on the way.
And it's no longer on the way. It has arrived.
It has. There was all the big hype going, this is going to be a massive departure. This is going to be the next big thing. It's going to be all change. And I've looked at it and went, it's...
What they've done there is facelifted the DB11 a little bit.
It certainly would appear so. I mean, I'm not saying it's not a pleasant thing. I'm just saying that the hype around this, it's all new. Is it?
No. No, it isn't. It's a facelifted 11.
However, there's one big issue as well that I think is going to upset a few people. It's not V12.
No, it's a V8. I noticed that.
Twin turbo V8. I understand these days you're going to have to be popping turbos on things just to keep people happy.
Yes. Things are not what they were, but yes, I noticed it was a V8, not a V12. Yes.
How is that going to be received, do we think?
I'm not sure how well the whole thing's going to be received, to be honest. Because there's nothing really there to get that excited about, even quite aside from the engine.
Yeah.
I think well, the trouble is everyone's doing V8s now, aren't they? The V12 is becoming a bit of a thing of the past.
Yeah, unless you're Lamborghini and you refuse to give in, which
yes,
I do. I like that. I like the stubbornness. I really do. I tell you what, though, you remember when the DB9 came on the scene? Everyone was blown away.
Yeah.
It was brilliant. When the DB11 came on the scene, it was like background noise.
Yeah, nobody really cared, did they?
It didn't have the same impact, and this
not
12. I'm not fussed.
I'm not fussed. I don't think it's particularly brilliant looking. No, it's all right. I don't think it's particularly brilliant, and there's nothing new there. It's nothing. It's not. There's nothing special.
What's like I said, just.
I think you just get the sense they're doing it in order to have a new model.
Yep.
And that's about it. Whether it's the new financial backing they've got behind them, which we touched on last week.
Oh God.
Yeah, them and others. You'd forgotten about that, hadn't you?
It just popped back in there again. Oh dear.
Yeah. I don't know, but I don't think there's anything special there. No, I looked at it this morning and thought, oh, well, that's not what they said it was going to be.
Nope, there was a lot more hype around that, and
it is not justified, I'm afraid. I mean, I don't think the fact that it's a V8 particularly.
No, that's not the bit.
It won't be interested in. I mean, Aston have had some great V8s in the past, but I just think there's nothing really there to get excited about.
No, I tell you what though, when it comes to modern or modern-ish Aston Martins, I have to say the last one that I would say is desirable and that I actually sort of actively would like one, because they've not gone insane because there's a lot of them, and that's the V8 Vantage that came out in 2005.
Yeah, I know exactly the one you mean. Yeah, a little bit smaller.
Yep.
Yeah, that's a good shout, actually, because you never hear any horror stories or anything about those. I think they were quite well made. And
I think so. I mean, I've never dug into it and found and researched it that much, but like you say, on the face of it, I don't think there's anything.
I do know somebody who's got one.
Ooh.
And he has had no issues with it at all. He's had it for quite a while. I think he had it from new, actually.
Oh, okay.
It's dark red one, and
nice.
he's had no issues with it at all.
Just yeah, I think if I was in the market and someone said, "Go on and go and pick yourself a modern-ish Aston Martin," that's where the banknotes would end up.
I think I would be tempted to go DB9, partly because they're getting quite, I use the term loosely, cheap, in that they are down to about the 20 grand mark now for a DB9. Bit less in some cases if you want to go for a leggy one. There's not a lot of difference price-wise these days between a DB7 and a DB9. DB9s have really come down in price.
I don't know enough about it, but in the back of my head, I would sort of go, probably safer putting your money into a DB9 than in a 7, because I think the 7 would be more ruinous to maintain.
Yes, I think so. The 9 will be better built. You get better kit in it because it's that much newer. I think these days I would go for a 9 over a 7.
Okay, yeah, I think that's fair. However, I would go for a V8 Vantage over a 9.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair. It would be boring if we both had the same.
It would. I just think one of those, manual box, I know you can get the manual and the DB9 as well, but in that
You
smaller
can.
package, I just think I love the way that you look at the proportions of it and go, well, the wheels are in the corners of the car.
Yeah,
I bet it's really chuckable.
yeah.
Whereas the DB9 is going to be a bit of a cruiser, I'd say, isn't it?
Wasn't it V8 Vantage that they were testing with for Casino Royale when they were going to do the rollover?
Does sound familiar.
I think they were testing with V8 Van and they couldn't make them flip. They were too stable, even when they ran them straight at the ramp. It wouldn't flip. It just went up in the air and landed back down on its wheels again. It was really boring.
Yeah. Well, that's why they had to engine. Well, I know it wasn't a V8 Vantage.
The final car wasn't a V8 Vantage, but I seem to recall they were testing with V8 Vantages. Yeah. And they couldn't flip them, and that's why they ended up with the air cannon in the passenger seat to roll it over, because they just wouldn't.
No, that's.
So I think what you're saying about them being really, really stable is probably true.
Okay, that's well funded. That's all right. Oh, look at me go! I actually I imparted knowledge and facts there without really trying.
Well, maybe, but it's a good choice. That's a good choice. You could be right. You could be better off there than I would be with a 9, but I'd probably go for a 9.
I don't know. I think it's 6.5, doesn't the other one? Those
two. Yeah, I don't think there's a lot to choose between them. Probably.
No, I think you fancy it for a bit of cruising, and I fancy the other one for a bit of chucking it about.
Neither of them is a Bond car, so we don't have to be silly about it.
No, it's not like when Wheeler Dealers did the DB7 and it was non-stop Bond references.
Oh, I know. He didn't have what? If you want to be really specific, it was Johnny English who had a DB7.
Yeah, that was that was absolutely painful. That was.
Yes.
They do that from time to time. I watched the recent one from the latest series, the Maserati 4200 GT.
Right. I don't know.
The coupe one from the early to mid 2000s. You know the one if you see it. It's the one that started as a 3600 GT, the one with it started life with the boomerang lights on the rear.
Oh yeah. I know.
And ended up with the chunkier lights, which is the one they had, but it had the Ferrari engine in it.
Yep.
Which, honestly, they really hammered that point home when we were watching it.
Yes.
Honestly, between Mike and Elvis, I think we probably had a Ferrari engine reference every 2 to 3 minutes.
Oh, it's bad, isn't it?
They
do that with certain cars.
Yeah, you go. I know we got it. We understand. Yeah. We know what's happening. Anyway, you don't need to tell us. The first time you said it,
didn't need to mention it to that kind of audience at all. They're all going to know.
Yeah. Annoying. Actually, it was the 3200 GT, not the 3600. I was being silly.
You need to get me the S-Type R episode. I need to see that. It's research.
It is. Yeah, you do need to see that.
Yes.
My apologies.
It's all right. Just a reminder.
It is. Yeah, I forgot. That's a valid reminder because it had been propelled out of my head.
Yes. I thought that would be the case.
I was watching, but I say we were watching a film the other night, and it was one that I hadn't seen in a very, very long time, and one that I hadn't considered a car element to.
Oh, okay. That's good. That sounds good.
Yeah, because I'm just trying to look it up now. There it is. Just make sure I get myself right. It was Underworld.
All right. Yeah.
You may remember that. It's
I
early,
do.
early 2000s. Kate Beckinsale doing her vampire things, fighting werewolves.
Mm.
Like I said, I hadn't seen it in a really, really long time.
No, I haven't.
Being vampires and such like, they're all quite well funded and live lavishly.
They do seem to have a bob or two. These vampires, yeah.
Yeah. But that's beside the point. However, she was driving some rather tasty vehicles.
I don't remember that.
Yeah, I didn't either until it was fired up and went, oh, she's got a Series 3 Jag.
Oh my!
But she did have an incident and crashed it, and it went in the water.
You can't have Kate Beckinsale in a Series 3 Jag. That's dangerous, that.
But then, after she ruined the bloody Jag, the next vehicle of choice is she had one of those Maserati 3200s.
Oh dear. Okay.
So cars are not a big part of this film by any stretch. However, the ones that have been picked, well done.
There's some tasty stuff there, isn't there? I'm just looking at yes, a 1982 XJ6 Series 3. Look at that. Was dirty. There was a apparently a 94 XJ6 as well, an X300 in it.
Oh, right.
According to IMCDB.
Well, fair enough. I might have missed that one, but yeah, I just thought that was noteworthy. I say it was noteworthy. I hadn't even written it down. It was purely because we looked at the.
No, I'm incorrect. The 94 XJ6 is in Underworld Blood Wars, which is a different movie.
Okay, right, that's fair enough. You are forgiven for getting that wrong.
Yes, not your mistake. It was mine. But however, the Series 3. Oh.
So, okay, I thought we'd throw that in there.
Yeah, that's good. I like that. That's not a movie I remember for cars. No, I thought I'd remember the Series 3 XJ, but
yeah, when it was suggested that, oh, do you want to watch this? I went, yeah, fine, not a problem.
Yeah, a bit girly, but yeah.
Well, it is, but it does have Kate Beckinsale, like you said.
Yeah, exactly. In a Series 3 XJ, as it's turned out.
I thought you were going to say in some sort of leather, which she often is in that.
I was keeping it on cars.
Okay, well, she was in the car wearing her leather thing.
You're just getting unnecessary now.
I know. I apologise. Right. Oh my god, I've lost my train of thought. Thinking.
Yeah, so have I. I'm going to have to take a moment.
Oh dear. Right, let's compose ourselves. Caterham. There we go.
Blimey, that's you'll strip cogs off your gearbox changing it in that direction that quickly.
Yeah. There's a lot of metal flying about.
There was there. Yes.
That was important to get swiftly away. Otherwise, we'll go down a rabbit hole, and none of it will be usable because. Yeah,
it's true. Yeah, it's true. Okay, you've handbraked round the roundabout. We're going down Caterham now. What you got?
Have you seen the proposed offering from Caterham?
No, not that I'm aware of, no.
Oh, God, you're going to have to use a bit of internet, aren't you?
I am. Well, I had to then to look up XJs. So
the Caterham EV7 concept has broken cover.
Oh, yeah, got it. Here we go.
So,
well, it looks like a Caterham. I'll give them that.
It does.
Yeah.
But they are not messing around with that.
No, well, they're not a company that's known for messing around, are they? Really?
Well, lightweight is their thing, which we know is a bit of an issue with
batteries,
with batteries and such like.
Yes,
it's been. What did they say? They've targeted it in and around the sevens that are sold in UK in Europe and Japan, I believe was the gist of it.
Mm-hmm.
and they said that it's going to have a target weight of about 70 kilos more than that car.
Okay.
However, with those figures in mind, they reckon an fully electrified version of it. Obviously, it's not got the range, being tiny.
Well, it doesn't need to, though, does it? That's not what it's about.
Not what it's about. But they reckon they're still going to keep it under 700 kilograms.
That's going to tear your face off.
Yes. And they said it's going to have the weight distribution within 2% of the combustion equivalent.
Okay, that's impressive.
Mm-hmm.
That's good packaging.
That's clever.
Yeah.
That's tight packaging. But that's just terrifying. That isn't. That's going to be obviously keeping it rear wheel drive and all that sort of thing. It's not. They're not splitting it and having different motors.
No, so motor at the back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then batteries here, there, and everywhere.
Yep.
But what a thing!
That's going to be a weapon, isn't it?
Mm-hmm.
Interestingly, you should mention an electric track car, actually, because I saw this morning that this year Castle Combe are doing their first EV-only track day.
Oh, God. Let's hope it's more successful than their normal track days.
Let's not get into that. But yes, that is the sort of thing you'll see there. I think that's very good.
Yeah, that would run rings around larger things, I would say.
Yes,
because it really does have handling on its side, doesn't it?
Well, that's the thing, isn't it? I mean, I don't know what's going to turn up there, but there'll be some Model 3 performances, I imagine. Whether anybody will be brave enough to take a Taycan around there, I don't know.
There's going to be someone with no care for their funds, and
yes,
the Taycan would be a good one to try, wouldn't it?
Well, it would actually. That would be quite interesting. The Model 3. I don't know, because Castle Combe is quite a tough track.
Mm-hmm. I do worry that the performance models of Teslas they don't have that particular knowledge base to lean on.
No, I think that's fair to say. They're not awful on track. I've watched some stuff. In fact, Richard Simon's RSEV on YouTube, chap who sold my Tesla for me, he's taken a Model 3 performance on a track day, and it was okay. It held its own. It wasn't all over the place.
No,
but my money would be on a Taycan if you're talking road cars. Well, the Caterham is a road car, I suppose.
Yeah.
But, not in the same sense.
No, perhaps not. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean. You just go, right, I would be leaning heavily on Porsche at this point.
Yes, I think so.
That's where it comes into its own. We've said it many, many times when we discussed the Taycan, going, the driving experience will be possibly its biggest selling point. Yeah,
it will. It will. It just will. It doesn't beat the Tesla on range or 0 to 60, but it almost certainly will in terms of handling.
Yeah, it's going to be quite the thing to chuck about. Like we said, the fit and finish will be that bit better because it's just doing it longer.
I mean, Tesla are getting better at that all the time.
They are, but you and I have both looked at the Taycan interior and any Porsche interior really and gone, God, he's good.
Yeah, it just is. Yeah.
Yeah, they've got it, haven't they? They know exactly what they're doing.
Yeah, they do. And I think in that environment, my money would be on the Taycan of road cars. But that little Caterham could very likely nobble all of them.
It could, I think. I think that's fair to say. I would be, as you bring up the topic of an electric-only track day, I would be intrigued to chuck a mini round it.
Oh, definitely. Yes, definitely. Yeah, I agree. That's an EV that's very much been optimized for handling.
Yeah,
at the expense of range. Actually,
Yeah.
they've really optimized it for that. So yeah, that would definitely. I would like. I mean, I have put a mini around Castle Coombe, but not an electric one.
Of course you have. I've forgotten you've done some track work.
Well, I'm not sure I'd go that far. I think that's giving it more credit than it deserves.
Sorry, I couldn't resist popping that in there.
Track work. Whilst it is technically true that I drove my Mini around Castle Coombe, it was not very fast. It was in like a sort of parade thing. It wasn't in anger.
Oh, that's all right. Well, that's why the Mini didn't end on its roof, because anything that involves Castle Coombe and track day just seems to end in tears if you watch it, because they do those world famous, I think they call them action days.
Yes, I've been. It was a mini action day that I went to.
Okay, how many vehicles were inverted before the day was over?
Well, there was one I remember. It was quite a new John Cooper Works car that went backwards into a crash barrier at 60 miles an hour.
I wonder how the insurance was arranged for such a thing.
Well, I think I've mentioned it before that was a car that later in the day we saw being pushed out onto the road.
Oh, it was. Oh, yes. Yeah, one of those.
It was one of those. Yes.
It's awful easy to crash near the entrance to Castle Coombe, isn't it?
It's a deceptively tricky bit of road there. Yes, that's right. Oddly flat and unimpeded. Yes.
Just what insurance company is falling for that nonsense?
I don't know.
None at all.
Like 300 speed cameras on there because they're convinced it's the most dangerous bit of road in the world.
Yeah, God, all going on here, isn't it? Oh my goodness. No,
I didn't see that particular Mini go off, but I heard it.
Okay.
I wasn't watching the track at that precise moment, and it. But yeah, it did come off on the corner, and got a bit bent.
That can happen. Oh God! But yeah,
it did. But Castle Coombe is quite a tricky track in places, and if you don't really know what you're doing,
there's not a lot of room to manoeuvre. I mean,
it's quite tight. It's quite narrow in places. Yeah.
Going on to my favourite topic of motorsport, it got pulled from a lot of events, like for example, British touring cars, British superbikes, any sort of high up national series won't race there. It's too tight. There's no runoff.
No, there isn't. None at all. No.
So yeah, it's only sort of club level it gets used for, really.
Yeah, it's a tight track and it's tricky. It's quite technical. This mini action day that I went to, it was just anybody could turn up and pay the money and go round. It wasn't,
genuinely terrifying.
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. I didn't. But there was this thing at the end of the day where everybody could drive around at like sort of, just 30 miles an hour and just to say you've been around Castle Coombe. So I thought, oh, well, I'll do that. And that was fine. But...
Probably safer. You're going to get away with it.
Yes. Well, it was my only car at the time. I couldn't really afford to smash it to pieces. I had to get to work the next day.
Yeah, that's not a good look, is it? Yeah. No, you come across like a bit of a tit if you do that. Yes. Mind you, you say that now we go on and go, I would really like to chuck, well, I'd say our Mini. It's my Mini now because I can't remember the last time Kelly was even in it.
Yes.
I'd like to throw that around.
Yeah.
The track. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's...
Yeah, we've talked about a mini track car before, haven't we? And what a fabulous thing it would be.
I do have a shopping basket still of bits.
Do you? Right. Yes.
But
it's improve really it.
Yeah, but it's really difficult because I've got a shopping basket of bits for enhancement, allegedly, or I've also got another shopping basket for original bits, things on it that are broken that I could just put back. Okay.
Yes,
It can't be both baskets, I'm afraid.
No, you've got to choose there. Do you either mend it to a decent standard, or do you track it? Yes.
Yeah, I mean, the stuff to mend it to a decent standard is essentially trim pieces.
Yeah, it's nothing big.
Inside
It's cosmetic, really, isn't it? Yeah, yeah, it is just to finish it off. Yeah,
yeah. I mean, some of the interior plastics are absolutely ruined because someone's tried taking them off, got it wrong, and they're just getting it. It's 22 years old. That plastic's a bit brittle.
It's not going to last, is it? So do you sort that, or do you not bother with any of that and you just turn it into a track weapon?
Yeah, because I've got various bits and bobs. I know we've reeled it off before, but there is a real dilemma there.
Because it's not, if you were to tidy it all really original, and it's not really worth anymore because of that.
No, not really.
Not significantly.
No.
Not that you're looking to sell it, but you know what I mean. You've got to judge it on something.
Yeah. I don't know.
No, that is tricky, isn't it? And I know we've talked about the track stuff before that you fancy doing to it.
That's just.
But if you did that, how often would you take it to a track? Would it be worth it?
Again, these are all very good points. I mean, there's far too much sensible thought put to it, if you ask me.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, I don't know. I think some drunken eBaying probably will solve the problem one day, I reckon.
That will decide it for you. Yeah.
But as ever, I'll keep you updated on that. If I've got out of hand and been near eBay, that you and the podcast listeners will be the first to know.
Well, I think that's probably enough of that for this week. Check us out on all the various social medias and things. Thank you very much for listening.